Trial. You've gone through the entire divorce process up to this point. You've done everything you can to get the matter resolved, and it hasn't resolved. You've produced your documents. You've answered the interrogatories. You've gone to mediation. You had a temporary Pendle-lite support hearing. You've gone to mediation. Things just couldn't get resolved. So now you're at the last and worst step. The last and worst step is a trial. Now, for clients, it's the last and worst step. For lawyers, it can be the last and worst step. I know one judge who quite honestly said that trials terrified him when he was a lawyer, to the point where he would throw up in the morning if he had trials that day. Most lawyers feel differently about it. There are many lawyers, and I'm one of them, that find trial to be the highest expression of what lawyers can do in the legal system. But it's horribly destructive. It's destructive to the parties, and you want to avoid it if you can. But if you're going to go to trial, here's some of the things you really want to do. The first and most important is tell your lawyer what's going on. Tell your lawyer what's going on from the very beginning. If you tell us what you've done wrong in the beginning, we usually have at least 6 weeks and maybe 6 months before we have to explain to the judge why whatever you did was the right thing for you to have done at that time in those circumstances. But if you don't tell us till we get to trial, we have about 6 seconds before the judge says, Mr. Rice, you need to move on. And it's real difficult to figure out within those 6 seconds what you needed to do and why you needed to do it was right, because the first 3 seconds is spent with thinking, why didn't they tell us about this when we could have done something about it? So tell your lawyer the truth. Tell your lawyer the truth early on, okay? Because every time you make a misstatement or have to change your statement, your story becomes less believable. Lawyers keep saying credible, but it really boils down to less believable. The truth. Tell the judge the truth. Look the judge in the eye. We go through preparations for depositions and trial by bringing our clients in most cases, sitting them down and running a mock trial. And running a mock trial is a great way for the client to understand what questions we're going to ask and what the mock opposing attorney is going to ask in cross-examination. The day comes, in fact, in some cases, the judges were out of town the week before we were going to try a case. We were able to actually use a courtroom to prepare a client. And that was a very successful case. In fact, after the other side found out we did that, they ended up settling the case with us. So, courtrooms. Courtrooms are going to intimidate you. They are literally designed to intimidate you. We use intimidation now instead of torture, okay? So yes, we want to be as intimidating as possible. We put judges up here so judges will intimidate you, because we want you to be intimidated into telling the truth, okay? So, but once you get used to telling the truth, once you get used to people asking you questions and you've told the truth, then you become comfortable with it. One of my clients, a great friend of mine, and his case has gone up on appeal, and he'll tell you about it. And his name's Jim Ward. First time he came in and told me his story, oh Lord, it was going to be a mess. But the other side continued his deposition 3 times, and each time we got ready for it, we went through the mock deposition. By the time they took his deposition, well, they didn't get much from him. And he said what we always love to hear our clients say when we prepared them well enough, well, you know, I heard so-and-so on the other side was a good lawyer, but it never got to be that bad. The reason it didn't get to be that bad is because we prepared you that hard. Well, then the same thing happened with the trial. They continued the trial about 3 times, and every time they did, we got Mr. Ward in. We got him prepared. We went through the mock cross-examination of it, till by the time we got around to trying the case, Mr. Ward got on the stand, and he testified. Mr. Ward was so comfortable that not only did he testify and the judge listened to him, the judge started asking him questions and talking back and forth to him. And he and the judge were so comfortable talking back and forth that the other lawyers started objecting to the judge asking Mr. Ward questions. Well, at that point, we knew things were going pretty well. The other side then, we got a result we were looking for. The other side appealed it. The Court of Appeal upheld us on all but one issue. Came back to the trial court. Trial court said, I thought it was right the first time. Went back up to the Court of Appeals, and they affirmed on that issue as well. That's Ward versus Ward 1 and Ward versus Ward 2. You can look them up. But the important thing is that Mr. Ward became so comfortable that he subsequently retired. And in his retirement, one of the jobs he's had is testifying as a professional witness for a Chicago law firm that deals in great aircraft disasters. And one of the things they asked him was, you know, Mr. Ward, we've been preparing you for this deposition in this case, but you seem to know this stuff pretty well. He said, I tell you what, I paid an expensive tutor to teach me these lessons. So we can teach you these lessons, but we don't want to have to. But if you tell the truth, it makes it much easier. I've been doing this for a long, long time. I grew up in a legal family. My daddy did this. And we've been in the law all our lives. I wrote the book on divorce. I lecture around the country on it. But I don't think I'm smart enough to get away with lying in the courtroom. And if I'm not smart enough about it, and I spent my adult life in the courtroom and I'm more comfortable there than I am pretty much anyplace else, how are you going to do it the first time you're there? You're not. You tell the court the truth. It will probably come out anyway, and it will destroy your lies about one thing, can destroy the truth you're telling about everything else. So let's tell the truth. So we're going to need to do preparation for trial. We're also going to need to do document preparation. We're going to need you to be effective on the stand. We need you to tell the truth. I've said that over and over again. We need you to look the judge in the eye. We need you to dress appropriately. We need you to be comfortable. And then you have to wait. You have to wait for the judge to rule. And believe me, you will ask me when we're going over to court, what's the judge going to do? And I'm going to tell you the same thing I've told hundreds of clients over the years. We don't know what the judge is going to do till the judge does it. And then sometimes we still don't know what the judge is going to do. So if you're going to have your case tried, work with your lawyer, tell the truth, and realize the system isn't always perfect. There are judges that may have inclinations different than yours, that will see things different than you. But all judges are trying to do what they think are right. If you want more information about the divorce process, go to our website at aboutdivorce.com and look up the sections. Thank you very much.